have it!
Eve!
Look out!
Welcome to MojoPlays. Today, we're looking at 10 things written into the Assassin's Creed franchise that will make you scratch your head and wonder, why is this in here? Of course, there are major spoilers ahead.
Look at me now! Let's talk, buddy.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Desmond's son.
I'm a bartender, for Christ's sakes! What do you want me to do, teach you how to mix a martini?
We know who you are, what you are.
Even if you've managed to get 100% completion on every single game, from the niche handheld titles to the mainline entries, you've probably never encountered Elijah. Introduced in the comic Assassin's Creed Uprising, he's Desmond's one and only child, at least that we know of. We have close to zero information on his mother, but we do know that he's a sage, and one of Uprising's central characters. Currently, he's been assumed dead since the comic's conclusion, alongside Juno, the main villain. If you'd like to learn more, you'll have to read Uprising, as the plotline has been abandoned since 2018.
And has this been a part of their plan all along? Maybe they want the world to end, to see it all burned away. Then they'd have their new world, ripe for the reshaping.
The Templars killed Jesus.
Show this fool knight what it is to have no fear. Go to God!
During his lifetime, Jesus wasn't that widely known outside the Levant. He was a preacher and a rabbi who became way more influential after dying rather than before. In this franchise, that wasn't the case, but it turns out he had Isu technology. This gave him his magical powers, which in turn attracted Templar attention. The Templars therefore became responsible for his crucifixion, rather than it just being Pontius Pilate. Such knowledge has caused a plethora of fan theories, like Jesus being an Isu agent. This means he was using his pieces of Eden to try and re-enslave humanity, which came in the form of Christianity. It's barely been developed by Ubisoft, probably because it's a touchy subject.
Destroy it as you said you would.
I can't.
Who killed Genghis Khan? Humanity's most famous conqueror, Genghis Khan, died because he fell off of his horse and got ill, according to some historians. In this series, his conquering came from the Sword of Eden, as opposed to tactics and military innovation. Also, he was killed by an assassin, and not just any assassin, but Altaïr's son, Darim. At least partly, he also got help from Quailan Gal, a prominent member of the Mongolian Creed. Altaïr, Darim, and Quailan hatched a plan to sneak into Genghis's camp, but old man Altaïr was far past his prime. After a brief setback, Quailan managed to snipe Genghis off his horse, then Darim finished the job, at least according to the comic Assassin's Creed Reflections. Random historical figures being Templars.
One of my experimental projects when I was Lord of the Admiralty. I haven't always been a man of shadows.
So everyone knows a whole bunch of historical figures also turned out to be Templars, mainly the ones featured in the games. If you are especially keen on the lore, you will know there's a whole bunch more rarely focused on. For instance, Henry Ford was one of Abstergo's founding members. Not only this, but he helped supply Hitler with powerful pieces of Eden which he used to briefly dominate Europe. A few decades down the line, Henry Kissinger would also become a Templar. Going further back in time, other notable Templars include England's King Arthur, Rome's Emperor Caligula, and China's An Lushan, among others.
I will undo all that you have done. I will rebuild the Brotherhood and recruit those who wish to make our land a place of freedom.
The Kenway family.
This little rascal, however, is a Kenway. What's wrong, Haytham?
Every fan knows the major players in the Kenway family, Edward and Haytham. Few are aware of the more obscure members, Tessa and Jennifer, Edward's second wife and her daughter, respectively. After the events of Black Flag, the pair decided to go on a pilgrimage to Singapore to save Edward, who had sailed there. After a successful mission, they returned to London, where Haytham was then born. Of the two, Jennifer has the more interesting story, ending up as a concubine in Istanbul because of a Templar scheme, and then killing the Templar Grand Master in France. She was particularly fascinating for wanting Templars and assassins to become friends rather than fight, a sentiment shared by a few characters.
Will you stay with the assassins?
No, I haven't got that kind of conviction in my heart.
Rebecca and Sean's marriage. Introduced way back in AC2, this pair has been the most frequently occurring modern-day characters. Despite that fact, they've barely been a focus since Desmond's death. They appeared in Valhalla, now both much older than they were in the earlier games. Also, for some reason, they're married, which is barely explained.
Charm the pants right off her, I did.
Yeah, right. I know for a fact you didn't even get to second base.
You have to hunt through anomalies to find out, which is strange because a lot of fans never imagined they were romantically involved. Another question is, how did they even get married, when the two of them have been on the run for more than a decade? Ubisoft aids the Templars.
Impressive, right? This building is barely 6 months old, but Abstergo Entertainment has been a studio for a few years, since 2010.
In Black Flag, the modern-day story is a first-person hackathon, playing as an Abstergo employee sifting through Edward Kenway's life. If you're particularly keen on this part of the game, you might be able to find the most meta Easter egg in the series. Abstergo is partly responsible for creating Liberation and Pirates of Nightmares, which are the in-game versions of Liberation and Black Flag. The other company which helped was an in-game version of Ubisoft. So, Ubisoft developed the games in which they developed the games, also in Montreal. It doesn't change much, but it's a cool Easter egg.
This summer, Abstergo Entertainment invites you aboard for the adventure of a lifetime. So sharpen your cutlasses, shine your hooks, and sail with the devils of the Caribbean. This virtual experience is not being rated.
The moon landing was a Templar heist.
Some of the stuff I'm seeing in the Animus, sometimes it seems wrong. Untrue, like the history is off somehow.
Everyone knows how two Americans first landed on the moon back in 1969, a monumental moment for mankind. In reality, it was primarily a scientific endeavor. In Assassin's Creed, it was secretly a plot to steal an Apple of Eden. It's revealed in a glyph in AC2, which lets us know Lyndon B. Johnson was a Templar. The organization was also responsible for killing JFK so they could prevent him from letting the Soviets grab the moon's apple. The mission was a huge success, with Templar Buzz Aldrin stealing the apple and then bringing it back home for Abstergo.
Let me ask you something. Do these supposed experts have access to secret knowledge kept hidden from the rest of us?
Humans were made for cheap labor. So we all know that Isu lived thousands of years before our time, and as revealed by the second game's glyphs, they created Adam and Eve. Not only them, but the entirety of humanity, who were genetically engineered by the Isu. What most fans don't seem to realize is that they did this purely for cheap labor. Their creator was named Fans, as part of Project Atropos. He ended up falling head over heels for one human lady who gave birth to their child, Eve. All humans had neurotransmitters which made them slaves to the Apples of Eden, but Fans removed his lovers, thus giving humans their freedom. Altaïr's crush on the Holy Grail. Few fans have played the Nintendo DS game Altaïr's Chronicles, a title largely forgotten to time. It's a prequel to the original, which recounts the time Altaïr tried to find the Holy Grail, also called the Chalice. After running around key collecting, the game's twist reveals that Chalice was a woman all along. She's revealed to be Adha, who becomes romantically involved with the assassin. Unfortunately, the Templars get away with her, and while Altaïr vows to save her, he never does. It's never followed up, so we have no clue what powers she possessed, if any, and what the Templars did with her. What's the weirdest piece of Assassin's Creed lore you happen to know? Leave it in the comments below.
No books. No wisdom. Just you, fratello mio.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.